Hey everybody, how's it going? Josh here, and today we're going to talk about Ghidorah's Homeworld, or everything we know about the Homeworld basically, at this point from different Godzilla mythos, because it might be something that's expanded upon or introduced or teased in the upcoming Godzilla King of the Monsters movie, or maybe even a future sequel depending on Ghidorah's fate in this film, because we don't know, he might die, but since he and Godzilla have fought before and he survived, it's definitely possible that instead of death he'll be re-imprisoned of some sort, or maybe he'll retreat and hide, like underwater, wherever. But in the Godzilla mythos, we have never formally explored Ghidorah's origins, especially not in film. There's been different versions of Ghidorah, and each different version usually has its own little twist on where Ghidorah comes from, or what Ghidorah is all about. Usually they all, however, do use him being an alien instead of being from Earth. And actually, one thing I thought was really interesting is that in the IDW comics, Godzilla Rulers of Earth, they introduced some information on Ghidorah's species. And there's a Mecha King Ghidorah that's introduced in the series, kind of also called Guardian Ghidorah, because it's more of a benevolent type of Ghidorah. And it's a member of Ghidorah's race that looks almost exactly like the traditional King Ghidorah we all know and love. And the way Ghidorah's race is kind of portrayed in this version is that they're a race of nomadic space dragons that basically are going planet to planet, searching for a new home to basically grow, preserve, repopulate their species as a whole, which kind of hints that their homeworld was either destroyed by, you could say, maybe a rogue member of their species, because we know Ghidorah is capable of destroying planets and rendering planets unlivable, or maybe from other means the planet was rendered unlivable in some way that the Ghidorah kind of race as a whole had to become a spacefaring nomadic race going planet to planet. Now eventually the more evil, violent Ghidorah, which is the Ghidorah that we all know and love as the traditional King Ghidorah, that Ghidorah ended up turning on the rest of its kind and kind of killing them off, and that led to the benevolent kind of Guardian Ghidorah crash landing injured on Earth, which is why he ended up becoming a Mecha Ghidorah instead of a just normal, biological, fully organic Ghidorah. So that's one interesting origin that I found. And another one is that in the 1996 film Rebirth of Mothra, we're introduced to another member of the Ghidorah species called Dezu Ghidorah. And he's related to Ghidorah's species called a younger brother of King Ghidorah. But another kind of introduction of Ghidorah that I found interesting was in the Godzilla Earth movie trilogy, which you should be able to watch on Netflix, at least here in the States. But what I really thought was interesting is they make Ghidorah an interdimensional creature that lives in the voids between dimensions. And according to the director of the film, Haruki Seshita, Ghidorah is a result of an evolutionary path where life discarded its physical body and evolved into a form of pure energy. So this one definitely doesn't have a homeworld of some sort, but it's definitely a really interesting take on the character, and this evolution into energy kind of grants Ghidorah the ability to pass through dimensions and also do a lot other crazy shit he does in the film. Another thing I also find interesting is in the 1991 film Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, we were introduced to Ghidorah being a mutated genetically engineered creature from the future. And what is the genetically engineered creature? Well, it's these kind of house pet things called Dorats that are made by the Futurians from the remains of another Ghidorah's remains on Venus they find. So it's never fully stated if it's a proper time loop. It's kind of hinted that the Ghidorah they find is technically the Ghidorah that was left in the past and mutated and all that stuff, so it's kind of a self-fulfilling loop in a way. Definitely it's really interesting. Doesn't confirm Ghidorah came from Venus. Actually, on the other hand, it's been also used in another iteration of the character that Ghidorah went to Venus, killed all life that was on Venus, and I guess in this version of the take, he ends up dying on Venus and his body remains there as well. So comment below your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about all this? I think Ghidorah's homeworld is something that would be really cool to see introduced in hopefully the MonsterVerse. That'd be a really cool take. But considering the MonsterVerse can only do so much, and we don't know if they're going to renew Legendary's contract to use the Toho monsters beyond Godzilla vs. Kong, it's very possible that Toho's going to do a whole new Godzilla multiverse or shared universe of sorts And a part of that might be a whole origin story finally devoted to Ghidorah's actual origins before he ended up coming into contact with either the Futurians or Godzilla or Earth. I think that'd be something really interesting to see, even if it's an animated film or a comic book kind of series of some sorts. I think just getting some further transparency on where Ghidorah came from, I think would be really cool. But comment below your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about this? What do you think Ghidorah's origins are? And I'll see you guys later.